Got sprouts? Welcome to the Friday Value video. I consulted with someone who wanted to increase her consumption of greens, and you may be looking to do the same thing. I recommended sprouts as a wonderful source of concentrated nutrition, so I thought now is a good time to remind you of their power to enhance your health. They also contain something called glucosinolates, which are potent anti-cancer chemicals concentrated in different parts of the plant. Since you eat the whole plant, you're getting all the glucosinolates. Not like when you eat broccoli and only eat the head, throwing out the leaves and discarding most of the stem. When you eat a sprout, you're eating the entire plant at a very young age. That is, you eat the root, the stem, and the head. Different glucosinolates, those potent anti-cancer chemicals, are concentrated in different parts of the plant. When you buy broccoli, you are only buying a portion of the plant. Glucosinolates are still in the ground, in the root. Others are in the leaves that are discarded, and some are removed by cutting off the stem. So, broccoli sprouts seems like a much wiser choice. Now, I'm not saying you don't ever want to eat broccoli, but if you really want to increase your nutrition, adding broccoli sprouts to your dietary intake would be a wise thing. Now, I wrote about sprouts in a couple of my newsletters in the past. If you're not getting my monthly newsletters, I highly suggest you sign up for them. But I wrote about them back in June of 2016 and January of 2017. And since our growing season here in the Northeast is kind of short, sprouting just makes sense. And of course, if you don't want to go out in the dirt and the sun and worry about the weather, you grow your sprouts inside. So talk about convenient. Now, let's look at a grocery store size package of sprouts. Did you know that there are about 4,000 baby plants in one of these packages? And each one of those 4,000 baby plants in that package can have as much or more of certain micronutrients as an entire mature plant. Are you saying, wow? I know I want to. Imagine all that nutrition in your salads, your smoothies, your soups, or your sandwiches. You can even make a snack mix with sprouts. Now, this is one of my favorite resources when it comes to all things sprouting. Their educational information, training, writing, videos. You cannot fail when you use this particular resource. It's called sproutpeople.org. And these are pictures directly out of their recipes section on their website. Curried lentil sprout salad. Oh, amazing. Here's an herb sprout snack. Sprouted bean burgers. Perfect soup. And there's different soups that you can make. Now, if you're on a very strict diet and you don't consume oil and you don't consume salt, you may need to modify some of the recipes, but you know how to modify them if you eat that way. You can still enjoy these foods to the max. Here's a green smoothie. Here's spicy lentil summer rolls. Don't they look amazing? So imagine all that nutrition in your food. So next week, I want to share about the history of sprouting. I think you're going to find that pretty interesting. I know I did. But in the meantime, I want you to get sprouting to have lifelong well-being. I will see you next week.